Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. And I am your host, C Money. And we are visiting Key Biscayne. Earlier, we did a video at Bill Bass Cape Florida State Park. We are now at historical Virginia Key Beach Park. I'm doing an update. Due to the time framing and everything, we will not be doing Crandon Park. I did say that we were supposed to be doing Crandon Park, but um, I will only be doing Crandon Park. We'll probably do that on another day. So this is historical Crandon Park. Historical Virginia Key Beach. Okay, now what we're gonna do now is take a walk through Virginia Key Beach. Now I'm gonna give you an outlook of Virginia Key Beach. This Virginia Key Beach is historical because was the only beach that African Americans could come to in the early to mid 1900s, meaning that this is where black people can come to the beach. Like, black people wasn't allowed on regular beaches, so this was a black only beach, and this was historical Virginia Key Beach. Now, remember when I told you back in the early 1800s, like in the 18s and the early 1900s, the Key Biscayne was only accessible by a boat. But when they did build a bridge from the mainland to Key Biscayne, this was the only beach that was accessible for African Americans. As you already know, back then there was a train and there was a carousel. You know, there was a lot of things that the black African Americans could do. I've always wanted to visit this beach, but I've never had the opportunity to visit. You know, like I said earlier, I did visit Bill Bags, Cape Florida, and I visited Crandon Park. And a history about Crandon Park, since we're not visiting. Crandon Park, I visited as a young kid because I went on a field trip to Crandon Park, and we actually went to it was like a science lab inside of Crandon Park, which still is there because a couple of years ago when I visited Crandon Park, their science lab was still there. But the only thing about Crandon Park is there's a lot of nature trails and stuff like that, so it's not much at Crandon Park to see. So that's another reason why I said there was no reason to do Crandon Park. We may do it on another day. Only thing that's historical about Crandon Park was Crandon Park is where the first zoo appeared. You know, where Metro Zoo, Crandon Park was the first zoo that and then they moved the zoo to where it's now called Zoo Miami, in the southern part near the Coco Country Walk area. This is I guess a big old walk area that was built. You know, most of my research that I do online is they don't tell you as much, but a lot of people come out here for historical reasons. Now, where the Carousel was housed, I can't tell you, and where is the train was housed, I couldn't tell you, but we're going to find out. Because this is a historical park. This is the park where African American. This says a historical bathhouse. So apparently, this is probably where you can take a bath and, you know, shower, change clothes, and all of that other stuff. And there's a vending machine. There's a soda vending machine. So I could probably get me a soda. Pretty much, this is where basically black people enjoyed themselves back in the 50s and 60s and so forth. Let me come over here. I'm gonna see what this says. Welcome to Paradise Renewed, Virginia Key Beach Park. Now, one thing that I probably will talk about in the actual future, because there was a section of this park, Miami-Dade. There was a section of this park because we did an episode a while back talking about the homeless epidemic down here and the homeless epidemic all over. Miami-Dade has approved of a 150 to 100 small house section for homeless people here in Virginia Key Beach. So that means that a lot of the homeless people will be housed in a section over here, but they have put it on hold for now because they are still working out the plans and the kinks. Right now, I'm going to see what this is all about. Now, if you look online and look at the pictures and photos online, you could see that there was a carousel, there's a train that was here and everything. But I don't know if they still exist here. Remember, this is my first time visiting this park. Even though I'm a resident of this park, this is my first time. So you may or may not see that here. We're gonna take another quick brief pause. Because as you know, these parks has also nature trails and things of that nature. So we're gonna take a brief pause. We're gonna come back. And this is still Roundtable Talk. We are at Virginia Key Beach. Okay, welcome back. This project is sponsored in part by the Department of State Division of Historical Resources in the state of Florida. Alright, the historical marker number 4, the Carousel and Carousel building. In 1952, park planners decided to include a carousel ride for park visitors and their children. By 1956, an Allen Herschel merry-go-round delighted beach visitors inside this octagon building. The beautifully hand-carved wooden horses glided up and down, round and round, as children of all ages awaited their turn to spin. And that will be this building right here. This will be the Carousel building, where in 1952, this is where people went. Historical Carousel building. Now, I'm going to go around and around the building. But now, I don't think that the building is open. This building, and remember in the picture you see, there was nothing but black people because this building was predominantly, like I said, this park was for African Americans. Now, we're going to do a walkthrough. Now, I don't know if you're able to see inside, and I don't know if the actual carousel is open or, where you can come and you can have a carousel ride. We're going to take a walk through and see what we can get to. We're going to take another quick pause because now we're going to, what we're looking for now is the train ride, like where the train area was. We're looking for that now, and most likely we'll find it. If not, we'll find, actually, we have found it. I'm surprised. If you can see from right here, stop, look left, look right. You see the train tracks. This is the train tracks for the train. Authorized vehicles only, railroad crossing. So this is the tracks where the train is at. So now all we got to do is just find where the area at, where the train picks up and drop off. So this is why this is historical. It made it historical not just because of it was the only part that African Americans in the South Florida area can come to. This is also historical because how many parks do you know had a carousel and a train ride? Even the parks that was not for colored people didn't have a train ride or a carousel inside the park. They were just regular parks. So for this park to have a train ride and a carousel, this is interesting. Here's the playground right here. So now what I'm going to do is go around and see where I can find the area where the train ride begins. This is pretty neat. I actually like this. I we'll only hope that they preserved it. So now that the kids of today can ride it, so the kids of today can learn the history behind this train ride. So I'm going to take a quick, brief break because we're going to I'm going to see if I can go this way to get through here to see if I can actually get to where the entrance of the train ride begins. And the area, so we're going to see if I can find the entrance to here. This is all the area. This is the Round Table Talk. I'm your host, C Money. I just want to take a walk through and see where the train takes us. We'll be right back. Take a quick pause. All right, welcome back. We are here at Huron Pond. The Huron Pond is a man-made pond that houses a variety of plants and animals, including a nesting site for birds like the great egret or the black-crowned night heron. Park note, as one of the most prominent civil rights activists in Miami, M. Athlete Range was a major advocate in reopening historical Virginia Key Beach Park and becoming the founding chair of the Board of Trustees. She was appointed by President Jimmy Carter to be on the governing board for the Amtrak rail system. With her love of trains, to return of the historical mini train in the late 2000s, held a special meeting for her and the historical Virginia Key Beach Park family. The Biscayne, Virginia Rickenbacker Central Historical Mini Train circles the Huron Pond. Yeah, if you remember, I did an episode back at M. Athlete Range Park, which is in Liberty City. And Virginia Key Beach was actually closed at one point. With her actual contribution, they reopened the park back up. And I believe, I'm not for sure if the train is back up and running. But if it is, it will be a great thing. I will have to look it up. And I'll have to get back to you because this is a great way for the train to actually give people an outlook of the park. You know, because like I said, this is only one of the only parks that I know of. We're here in South Florida. I don't know about other areas, but here in South Florida, this is the only park that housed a carousel. Ooh, I had a fly that came close to me, and a train that sits inside the park. And the reason why for it, because remember, this was the only park that African Americans could come to down here to go to the beach and all the other stuff. So it was, now this park is owned by the county. It's not a state park. It is a historical park, but this is not a state park, and this is not a city park. This is owned by the county, because, you know, like I told you in the previous episodes when we was at Bill Banks, and like I told you when we was at Olita River, all state parks are historical. There are some county parks that are historical, and there's very few city parks that are historical. Now, as you see, the train goes that way, so I'm guessing the train station is over here. So I'm gonna go look over here, see for the train station. That's basically what this is. It's the train station and the carousel. I mean, I'm quite sure there's more historical, you know, information on this park. And actually, if you walk across the street from this park, you end up at Miami Sea Aquarium, which is an aquarium that opened up maybe in the 50s, 60s, 70s. It opened up. So that is the Miami Sea Aquarium. So we're not going to get into the Miami Sea Aquarium, of course. We're going to get into that on another day and time. So let me go over here. I'm trying to find, oh, there's raccoons. There's raccoons. raccoons. I was told not to mess with raccoons. Now, I guess this is the office of Virginia Key Beach Park. And let me come over here. I'm trying to see where is the entrance to the train ride, which I highly doubt there is an entrance to it because I'm looking for the entrance to the train ride. But there though doesn't look like there's an entrance to it. Yes, this is the park office. Yeah, I'm trying to find the entrance to the train ride because apparently I don't know the entrance to the train ride. That's a good one. If you look, let me see what's over here, 'cause this might be it. This might not be it. No, this used to be a message board. It's not a message board anymore. Let me come this way to see if, because I went the other way. I didn't go this way. So let me come this way and see if I can find any information on here. There might be a train station or stop or something that where the people can get on. I actually like this park. I actually like this park. This is an interesting park. Look left, look right. This is an interesting park. Oh, I'm guessing this is the stop where the trains stop at. Oh, let's go over here and let's take a look. I guess it's the train stop. Oh, and this is probably the ticket booth. I'm not trying to see if there's any critters in here. Historical marker number 5, the mini train. Beginning in the 1950s, a mini train chugged along an approximately 3/4-mile track and through a 7-foot wooden tunnel surrounded by coral rock. Many park visitors wistfully recalled the train ride through tropical vegetation and along azure shores shaded by sea grape and palm grove. The Biscayne/Virginia Rickenbacker Central experience has been recreated with an engine and rail cars of the same vintage and manufacturer. So, this is the stop where it says under restoration of public access. So I'm basically not allowed over here, but this is okay. Okay, this is I guess the station for the train. We're gonna walk through here a little bit to get an understanding. Oh, this is nice. This is not, like I said, this was the only area or the only park that housed a train. I got stuff on in my shoes. So we're gonna take a brief pause and then we're gonna come back because apparently we're back to where we was looking at the trains and stuff and the train area. So we're gonna take a brief pause and we're gonna come back. The roundtable talk. Hey, we are back to the roundtable talk, visiting Key Biscayne, and we are in historical Virginia Key Beach. And apparently we are in the cabin area. I didn't know they had cabins over here, but these are probably historical cabins. This is no public access. Natural area under restoration, so there's no public access. But I believe back in the day, this is where, of course, African Americans can actually come and they can actually rent a cabin or so. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cabins. I see one of them has a hole, so I'm guessing that's where the animals come and they hang out at. These cabins, they have boards up on them. Ooh, excuse me. They have boards up on the windows because apparently they look like they're old cabins from the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. Oh, I can look inside one of these cabins. Oh, this cabin has an upstairs there's a upstairs to it. I can see it, but you can't. Obviously, you can't see it because it's most of the windows are boarded up. That window is not boarded up. Most of the windows are boarded up. I guess these are cabins that used to have. It says area for cabin renters only. For renters, contact open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But I don't know if you can actually rent a cabin. They might not have it. Oh, okay. Right here is access to the beach. There's plenty of beach area. There's access to the beach from this area. There's access to the beach from that area. That's one of the parts of Rickenbacker Causeway. We just came from that way because that's the way to get from Bill Bags. And wow, I didn't know they had cabins over here. This is very interesting. Let me walk this way. I saw a little bit of the cabin. They have a staircase where you go upstairs, where I guess the bed is at upstairs, and then it's actually open. I don't want to open it and something pops out. This is what the cabin looks like. There's a bed right here, and there's an upper stairs up there. And I guess this is where they went when they wanted to rent out a cabin for. And of course, you have a barbecue grill and everything. This is really nice. This is really nice. I guess that got opened by mistake. But back then, like, since this was the only area that black people can come to, I guess this was only the place you can rent a cabin and sleep. But I can only imagine, because remember the cabins that we seen at Olita River, they had cabins, but their cabins had air conditioning, because I guess they're modern day, up to date cabins where they have air conditioning and stuff. These are like cabins where if you was to sleep in there now, you will burn up. Like, you will have to, first of all, you will have to have your own sheets, because it looks like it's a wooden floor, like a wooden bed. So you'll have to bring your own material. Like, you're basically sleeping like a slave. You'll be in there like a slave, So you don't want to be sleeping in there like a slave. So that's basically what they're basically saying. You're in there sleeping like a slave. So, so that is, oh my God. I can only imagine trying to sleep there. Like, that would be too much. Let's see. This says Glamon. Oh, let's go this way, because I want to see what this is all about. We're basically done with the Virginia Key Beach, because we done seen most of it. I want to see what this says, and planning towards the future. Since 2008, the staff and trustees of historical Virginia Key Beach Park have made it their mission to tell the story about the beach. The park is constantly working on educating Miami's communities about one of the city's historical gems with its unique cultural history and ecology. Thank you to all the volunteers for sharing our vision. You are now all part of the story. Yes, a lot of these people here are here to help tell the story of this historical. And like I said, the reason why this is historical is because it is the only park that only has access for African Americans. African Americans was the only one who, had access to this park. So this is no public access, authorized vehicles only. So for here, we can't go this way, so we'll go over this way. And we'll walk over here and see what's this. I'm gonna wait till they're back up, because a lot of these people, most of the people that come out here, they're basically out here because of historical significance, and because it's, of course, it's right here on Crandon. Like, this beach, this park is accessible across from Miami Seaquarium. So when you come from Miami Seaquarium and you want to go to a park or want to go jump in the water, if you can, here's Virginia Key Beach. I mean, here's Virginia Key Beach. Here's the park, where this at. I'm just going to walk down. I'm not going to walk further because I'm not going through, unlike Cape Florida, I'm not walking through these trails, because Cape Florida, you had to walk through the trails to get to where you was going. Here, I don't have to walk through trails to get to where I'm going. I'm just showing you. Oh, there's some things back here. Let me get you the information that's back here, which I'm quite sure there's something back here that has information. It says, rise from the cane before the dawn and dust eventually let the moon. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. So, yeah. This is more of like another trail, a nature trail or whatever. I'm not really fond of the nature trail. That's another reason why we didn't do Crandon Park, because throughout Crandon Park is nothing but trails and trails and trails of nature trails. If you're now in the main part of Crandon Park, like where the beach and stuff is ever, you're not really going nowhere but nature trails. And I've walked Crandon Park and I'm like, ooh-wee, there's a lot of trails. So we'll have to do Crandon Park on another day, because that's a part that, I don't think you want to do, But the only thing historical about Crandon Park is basically it was the first, this where the zoo was first housed at before it moved to its current location, the Metro Zoo, and then Zoo later changed the name to Zoo Miami. So it was the first area where the zoo was located at. So I'm going to walk this way. We only got a few minutes left on this, so I guess I'll do a part 2, because I was guessing that we wasn't going to be able to do a part 2 because Virginia Key Beach wasn't like Bill Bags. Bill Bags, you didn't have to do 2 parts, but you can. But I wanted to do 2 parts of Crandon Park. Bill Bags. I keep saying Crandon. Excuse me, y'all. So, but we're going to walk this way. I guess I get to purchase a soda from the vending machine, because now I'm thirsty. I had 2 bottles of water. And the one thing I've noticed, I put my other bottle of water in a Ziploc bag in my backpack. So by the time I reached out of Bill Bag, my water was still a little bit cold enough for me to drink, but it wasn't cold as far as when I last left it. So it was cold enough. So that's another thing. Either have your water partially iced up, or have it where it's cold enough to put in a Ziploc bag, or put it in, I hate walking with these plants and you got on shorts, or put it in something that's, that can chill your like a bottle that chills, keep your water cold and stuff like that. See, this is Virginia Key Beach, and this is beautiful. This is real beautiful. Beautiful. This is real beautiful. And I cannot stress it enough. This is where the African Americans had to come to in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s and the 40s. This is where they had to come to. This is where they had to go at. This is where they had to, have their fun. This is where they can only, when they want to come to the beach, they can only come here. When they want to go have fun, because I think that's another reason why they housed the Carousel and the train right here, because you couldn't go to parks, or you couldn't go ride on the Carousel at certain amusement parks, or go ride on the trains at certain things. So they made this park accessible and fun for African Americans. Oh, let's put a Carousel here. So since they can't go ride the Carousel at the fair, or at the little carnivals or whatever, they can ride the Carousel here. Or if they want to have a little more fun, they can ride the choo-choo train that ran around the park. So that's basically what they did. They made it more interesting for African Americans here, So you can pretty much say that African Americans had it a little bit. They didn't have it good back then because everything was segregated. But as far as enjoyment, at least when they came out here, they had something to do. They probably had a concession stand where you can buy, snacks and drinks, and they had barbecue pits where you can barbecue and barbecue grills, and then they also had the train rides for the kids and the carousels. And I'm quite sure not just the kids rode the carousels, the adults rode the carousels too, because a lot of adults probably say, oh, I can't get on the rides here at the local carnivals or the local fairs, so let me get on the train ride or the carousel here and enjoy it. So it was a lot of fun for everybody. And then when you wanted to stay the night, you went in the cabins. And back then, I'm quite sure it was interesting because, I didn't grow up back in the 50s and the 60s, when, there wasn't air conditioners and stuff. And a lot of people had to just sweat it out like they do now, and I didn't grow up back then. So now I'll look at these cabins and say, hey, I need an AC in here. I'm not sleeping in this cabin. First of all, the cabin is wooden. And second of all, there's no hot air in here. So I have to open up my window to let the air in. And down here in South Florida, the humidity gets hot at night. Even though at nighttime, it's a little bit cooler than the daytime, but it's a little hot. Okay, I'm going to take a break because we got to come back and do part 2. This is the Roundtable Talk. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. If you want, email roundtable00@yahoo.com. This is the Roundtable Talk. I'm going to do part 2 in a minute. I'll see you in a minute.